It's weird to live in the year 2020. It was weirder to live in 2016, I guess, and to be politically minded, because I would hear the slogan, "Make America Great Again," and think, when was America really that great? And of course your mind goes back to the 1950s and all of that lore that we know about from the post-war era. But of course that makes you think, if I was able to go back there, what would it be like really? And if I went back with everything that I knew now, what kind of impact would I have? Well, that question and more are answered by this week's movie, Pleasantville. So as I've been doing at the top of all of these episodes, I want to send a big thank you to all of you who are staying home and staying healthy and staying safe. Thank you for abiding by the rules and staying inside. I know a lot of states are opening up now, and if you do choose to leave, I hope you are doing so safely. That means masks, social distancing, and gloves when appropriate. If we all work together, I know that we can defeat this virus and make sure to get back to some sort of normalcy faster. So please stay inside, stay healthy, and stay safe. And a special thank you to all of our frontline workers, whether it's nurses and doctors going into hospitals to treat patients, or people going into stores to stock shelves, truck drivers who are going and bringing products to the stores, or our restaurateurs who are cooking food for us when we're just tired of our own terrible cooking. All of you guys, we could not get through this without you, so a big special thank you to all of you. And I hope everyone is gonna keep their patience and move forward so we can get through all of this together. This week's movie has a special place in my heart. I would say that without making a list off the top of my head, if you gave me a list of every movie I'd ever seen, as soon as I see Pleasantville on that list, boom, it gets bumped to the top. Top 10, maybe top 5. And it's probably not because of the movie itself, although maybe it is. It's because of when I saw it and how it impacted. Pleasantville is from 1998, and it came out right about the time I was starting high school. It was one of those movies, along with Can't Hardly Wait, that when you see it and you're at that age, it just does something to your psyche. So in a way, you can thank Gary Ross for me, whether that's good or bad. But before we get too far along, let's go ahead and roll through the pleasantries, shall we? Pleasantville was directed by Gary Ross. It was also written by Gary Ross. It is starring everybody. Everyone who I think was probably working at the time. All of the best people are in this movie. William H. Macy as George, Joan Allen as Betty, Jeff Daniels as Mr. Johnson, Tobey Maguire as David, Jane Kaczmarek makes an appearance, a little bit of a stereotypical role as kind of a forgetful and not so great mom. Reese Witherspoon as Jennifer. Don Knotts is in this movie. The Don Knotts as the TV repairman. And last but not least, R.I.P. Paul Walker as Skip, as well as an entire cast of a bunch of teens from the 90s who were in basically every teen movie. And they all did a fantastic job. So the basic premise of Pleasantville is Tobey Maguire plays David. He's obsessed with a show from the 50s called Pleasantville. And there's a Pleasantville marathon. He and his sister Jennifer, played by Reese Witherspoon, get in a fight about who is going to have control of the TV. They're a typical 90s family. Dad is gone. Mom is Jane Kaczmarek, playing the role she played all through the 90s, and she's gone for the weekend with her much younger boyfriend. As they fight over the remote gets broken, and this is one of those new TVs where it doesn't even turn on without the remote. Ding dong! Don Knotts to the rescue. As a TV repairman, he shows up out of nowhere and offers them a new remote. But he asks them what they were about to watch, and of course, David offers the Pleasantville Marathon. Is there anything else to watch on tonight? So the TV repairman asks him a few questions. A few about one character, a few about another character, a few about a third, and David, it turns out, knows more than he does about their shared favorite show. So the TV repairman reaches back into his toolbox and he pulls out a different remote, a special remote. And when David turns it towards the TV and presses go, both he and Jennifer are sucked into the television show Pleasantville. They go from a 90s broken family to the perfect family from the 1950s in the perfect town, living perfect lives. I asked the question at the beginning, what would happen if you were pulled into the perfect family in the perfect world in the 1950s? What kind of impact would you have on that existence? Well, David tries to have a positive impact. Well, he was a huge fan of the show. He tries to push those storylines forward. Jennifer knows nothing about the show, and she is a self-described, not by me, self-described by the character, slutty 90s girl. And when she starts to take those characters, who are now real people, out of their element, she starts to cause changes in that world that are unpredictable. Most importantly, the advent of color. And I think this is one of the things I love about Pleasantville the most. It's just the way that it uses, kind of in reverse from The Wizard of Oz, color to show a world that is changing, but not for the better. When Dorothy goes into the land of Oz, everything is better, everything is improved, and it's in color. In Pleasantville, when things become color, they have been changed, and the question is for the viewer, is it for the better or not? Is it better to continue the way things were, the pure, sanctified life, or is it better for people to be woke? But that's not even the only lesson from this movie, and I think that's the best part, is the way that it weaves in so many interesting things in one movie. Because later on, after the teens have kind of been experimenting and learning about the world, they have all turned to color, except for Jennifer and for David. And the old stodgy adults, the ones who aren't standing there with their teens, happy that they're in color, have decided that they're going to make up some new rules to make sure to keep Pleasantville pleasant. And one of those rules is that certain establishments can make sure that they are allowed to keep out the colored kids. But progress, says Pleasantville, cannot be stopped no matter how hard you try. Because inside of everyone, no matter how stodgy and conservative they are, is a progressive waiting to get out. That progressivity may be something that's not good, but it is there. Everyone wants change. But the question is, what do you want to change? Do you want it to change back to something that was bad, or do you want it to change forward to something better? Most importantly, Jennifer and David learn the lesson that although everyone else is changed by them, they stay black and white longer than anyone else, because it's not about the world changing. They need to change something about themselves in order to embrace the color lifestyle. David finally lets go. He lets go of all of the negativity and tries to embrace being who he is. And when he does that, and he stops trying to be David the son or Skip, the character whose body he took over, he finally turns. And when Jennifer realizes that being this stereotypical girl that everybody wanted her to be in high school isn't all she can be, and she starts to study, and she enjoys it, and she learns, she turns color too. And even though it takes a very long time, even their dad, the one who was fighting moving from the twin beds to the king size, the one who said, friend of the show, Corey Baker's favorite line from all of cinema, "Where's my dinner?"
Where's my dinner?
Even he comes into color by the end of it. I won't say that I'm always a fan of a feel-good movie. I won't say I'm often a fan of a feel-good movie, but there's something about this feel-good movie that just gets to me. And it could just be nostalgia for wanting to be that innocent, kinda, 14-year-old kid who first saw Pleasantville. But if you haven't seen it, I highly encourage you to check it out. It impacted me deeply the first time I saw it, and it is on the list of movies that no matter where I catch it, and I know most of the movie back to front, I will stop and finish watching it wherever it is. Even if it's on TBS and I know it's going to be 3 hours long with commercials, I'll still sit through it just to check out the ending. Pleasantville is available on streaming. You'll be able to find it in the links down below. So take the 90 minutes and check it out. 2 thumbs up. It is 100% worth it. So there you have it, yet another episode of the Everyman Movie Review in the books. I am hoping that this is the last closing I'm gonna have to do wearing a baseball cap because, oh, please let the barbershops and salons reopen. I really need a haircut, and I promise you everything will be back to fully normal once I can get my haircut. But I have been keeping the beard straight. I've been trying to keep my mind straight. I've been trying to keep life together. I hope you are too. I know this can be super difficult, but I hope you're finding a little bit of diversion in these reviews. I'm trying to keep up 2 per week just for you to keep something new coming at you. Life in quarantine is not going to be easy, but let's take safe precautions so we can move out and defeat this thing for good. Please take care of yourselves and each other in these times. On a personal level, I'd like to say a huge thank you to all my supporters on Patreon. You guys are the motivation to keep me moving forward. It is so fantastic to see messages about the stuff that I post, when I give you early episodes, when I give you broken episodes. I did an episode about bad education and the audio was basically ruined, but I was able to put together a kind of an episode and I sent it out just to my patrons, so only they know my thoughts about bad education. If you want to be one of the chosen few, it is super easy. Head on over to patreon.com, that's patreon.com/Robert N. Cheek, and for as little as $1 a month, you can join the crew. It'll get you early access to things. It'll get you notes in my books in the future. Basically, the inside line on all the stuff that I'm working on right there at your fingertip. But times are tough. Maybe even $1 a month is too much. Well, that's fine. Make sure you're following me on all social media at Robert N. Cheek. It's totally for free, and the jokes are basically the same. So you're going to get an insight to my life, my day-to-day. It's not going to be at the level of the patrons, but you'll definitely see a lot of interesting stuff and see kind of behind the scenes of the things that I'm working on. So you're not going to want to miss that. All over the internet, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, everywhere at Robert N. Cheek. And of course, if you're looking for even more, you can find it at robertncheek.com. It's under construction, but it is slowly but surely getting there. You can find links to all of the YouTube videos, or just check out youtube.com/RobCheek. You can find links to all the books, or just search for me on Amazon. All of that is available at robertncheek.com. And if you can't get enough of me, why would you? Make sure you are checking out the Oh the Anthem podcast. New episodes every Tuesday. You can find that at ohtheanthem.com, youtube.com/Oh the Anthem, and at Oh the Anthem on all your social networks. And of course, Everyman Movie Review is also on social media. You're going to find us at Everyman Movie on Instagram and Facebook, and Everyman Movie Review on Twitter. So that's it for this week. Thank you guys for joining me once again. Look for a new episode. They come out every single Thursday and one in between. I'm going through kind of the back catalog of streaming movies right now. It's a lot of older stuff, but I think it's stuff that's going to get you really excited. I'm really excited, and I'm looking forward to it. So until next time, again, take care of yourselves and each other. Have a great week, everybody.